Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Farr Engineer Learning Series. I'm Christine, and in this space, we focus on clarity, confidence, and practical options for notaries at every stage. My goal is to help you understand the landscape, explore different approaches, and choose methods that fit your workflow and your state-specific requirements. This series is educational. It's not prescriptive. Every notary's process is unique, and your state laws always come first. Let's explore today's topic with a focus on best practices, professional standards, and informed decision making. Welcome. So we're going to begin. We're doing the notary series, and we're going to begin by reviewing or recapping what we covered last week. Last week, we covered the post-exam reality checklist, and we went over the 6 items that are listed here, which is after the exam, you need to submit an application within a 90-day window. The next step would be to take your oath at the Register of Deeds office, which is a $10 fee, and that has a 40-day window tied to it. Once you have taken the oath, then you are officially commissioned to start doing notarization, and you will receive the certificate that gives you that commissioning. You would then need to begin equipping yourself, and we went through the specific items that you would need. We're going to go through some more of that in a deeper dive. So it may seem like a little bit repetitive, but it is specific. This week is very specific. So we want to kind of expand on what we started last week. We also reviewed the setup costs and the data management that would be necessary. So for more information, I ask that you do check out my YouTube page and just follow along, share, like, and subscribe. This evening, though, we're going to talk about the what it takes to scale the business and go over the essential tech stack, which includes some additional hardware that you will need and the software. Then we're going to talk about systems and automation, and briefly kind of do a quick overview of what mastering North Carolina REN compliance. Just a little disclaimer, although I'm in North Carolina, my goal is to interact with other notaries that are across the states, the various states in the United States, and if possible, other people who are from other countries as well. I don't know where this will take me, but just to kind of stay focused, REN is what we call our notarization or electronic notarization process. The E and the O is just a slight variation, and it is all electronic. That's the main thing to recall when you see REN versus RON. And then securing your first 10 clients, we're going to talk through that, as well as scaling to 10 clients. And then we're going to go over sustainability and professional legacy. Let's get to it. So go back up. So for brand new notaries and recommissioned notaries who need a deeper insight, here's a question for you. What are you using to create a productive workspace that is compliant? The important takeaway from here is that you need both hardware and software. And my hope is that as we go through this process, you will, because I'm trying to do this as I present, is within my own restraint, financial restraint, and so on, follow through with the items that are being presented here. So a dual monitor, we talked about the printers last week. Most of them come with scanners attached to them. So hopefully that is clear. You will need an all-in-one printer. More than likely that is going to cover you for both the scanner and printer. And those are some of the main hardware requirement in addition to your laptop or computer, right? So that's going to complete your hardware requirement. The dual monitor comes in handy, especially with having to deal with additional things, like if you have multiple documents opening, or it just makes sense. And you can always research where you can obtain one. Some of those, I've seen a couple of those on YouTube and Facebook and so on. So you can invest in that. I do not know, I did not research the cost, but they do seem to be affordable. So that would be an added cost that you would factor into what you're planning, your cost planning. In terms of software, I think that's the main idea in this particular slide. This is where you're going to build out your workflow. So there is Google Space, Zoho, High Level, and System IO. Those are the ones that I highlighted on my left of the screen. So Zoho is a software workflow system that allows you to gradually grow and learn their systems, and you can build out exactly what you need for your specific business. I like them because it is they begin as low as $5 and you can build out. I also have had my eye on High Level. Go High Level is what it's called. And this one focus on marketing, CRM, automation, and funnels. And it's built for service businesses. They offer a trial and then you can do a monthly subscription. I believe the last time I checked it was at $97. I'm not sure if they have a lower one or that's the starting point, but I know that that was the number that I saw the last time I checked. So other options are for Zoho competitors include the Google Workspace, Microsoft 365, Odoo, and Bitrix 24. For Go High Level, the closest competitors include ClickFunnels, ActiveCampaign, HubSpot, Keep, GoDaddy Hero, and System.io. And these are just suggestions, and you should research what works best for your business. I just also wanted to point out that cost is always a factor for notaries. So when you're just starting out and you don't know the terrain, it makes sense to start slowly and just build from there. So that's the reason why I'm making these suggestions. It makes a lot of sense just to start slowly and build up, because there's an overwhelming wealth of information and an overwhelming wealth. These are just some of the suggestions that I have given. I've found it a bit overwhelming to figure out what works and what doesn't work, because everything is a cost has a cost attached to it. And then, for example, with Google Workspace, it is tied into your Google business profile. So that may be something that you may duplicate. You just need to figure out how you want to navigate, because it is also, I believe, an ecosystem, and some people use that. So, just bear all of these things in mind. You need to bring things together because of everything being so fragmented. I think Zoho offers less fragmentation. So they also do a lot of integration, and you need to make some sound decisions and just, sit with it for a minute and figure out, is this going to give me what I need for my business? Those are talking points that you need to review and come to some careful decision about. So you want to complement your tech stack with our journal and logbook. So here's why I say this. The reality of technological outages. You want to cover your butt to make sure you're able to respond in case you are summoned to court for a document you notarize. Those things can happen. And if, for example, you don't have you would, of course, save like triple down on your process, but you would, of course, put things on a disk and also have it in a logbook. So this is where I'm suggesting that this comes in handy, because you are required by the state to have an encrypted disk, but things happen, technology can fail. I've had so many interesting experiences where I have things saved on my disk and it just gets wiped off. So having a hard paper copy, that I think that's going to back you up as well. We do want to bear those things in mind. Just cover yourself at every possible turn. It doesn't hurt to have an extra layer of protection, an extra layer of defensibility, because that's the mindset you want to adapt. And it makes sense. I mentioned this just to add to what I have already said. I mentioned this last presentation that, my experience in aviation just exposed me to some of the real problems that are possible when you're on the go. You're a mobile notary, so when you're on the go, you want to safeguard your data due to the potential of loss, theft, and just life's transition. It is, you're in a service role, you're doing the doing of, you're involved in the doing of notarization. So the potential of loss always exists, and it makes sense. It just makes sense to have a hard paper copy as a backup as well. And remember that North Carolina, and I believe I would dare say other states, do have compliance requirement for your audit trail. This is an added protection in addition to the approved solution provider platforms, because they need to follow some guidance as well. And this is useful for both traditional as well as REN or RON use. All right, so system automation. You do need a system to allow you to stay focused on the actual work, because this is where you're going to track your processes and stuff. For example, Zoho is an ecosystem, and that offers like the Zoho Flow and the Zoho CRM, and that manages the customer centric part of what you do. You have to track what works and what does not work, right? So you need a way to manage your client's experience. And this is where Zoho comes in. And of course, depending on which one you go with, although Zoho also provides the CRM, I think high level is a more of a marketing piece. So that's the part that I would choose to go. That's where I would recommend them because they have more of that recognition as a marketing platform in high level, that is. The takeaway is that having a workflow will reduce the administrative drag so you can stay focused on taking care of clients who need notarization. So you get this system in place and it's automated, you are good to go. So automation handles the logistics, but your records handle the law. Keep your compliance precise with the Farr and near notary journal and logbook. So for notaries who are from other states that use RON, I said this before, remember that this applies to you as well when we're talking about mastering the remote electronic notarization compliance. It applies to you as well. REN, again, REN and RON are synonymous, and they relate to the electronic online processes. And the most important concept is that general or traditional notarization is distinct from REN requirements. A REN notary must follow 12 specific steps as outlined in the North Carolina Notary Manual. I'm going to just quickly read those 12 steps here. It's step 1, you establish the REN section. Step 2, you characterize the act. Step 3, you positively identify the person or persons appearing before you. Step 4, you verify the remote principal's location. Step 5, activities before recording. There are some specific things that you need to complete. Step 6, the notary preface. Step 7, you perform or refuse the notarial act. Step 8, you complete your journal entry. Step 9, you complete the notarial certificate. Step 10, you sign the notarial certificate. Step 11, you affix your notary seal. And step 12, you complete the transaction. So those are the 12 steps, and they do go more in depth. So you will have a clearer understanding of how to specifically perform a remote electronic notarization session. And just to, I did post this on the my social media platform. What I'm going to do, what I'm hoping to do is to also have a dedicated, either it's going to be affordable, but I'm going to have a dedicated session where I can interact with others on like in a course offering so they can learn how to complete this. As I build out my practice, I hope that we can learn together. So this will be available coming shortly. You can either visit the website and look under the course offerings and just go through that individually, or I can schedule a time with you and we just talk through that. But that's in the works. I'm not there yet. I'm building up to that. For remote electronic notarization retention, the REN retention laws, based on the manual, the 2026 manual, both audiovisual recording and the journal entry needs to be retained for 10 years, right? So you need to check your state. If you're not from North Carolina, you need to check your state's guideline if this is applicable to find out what your state is requirements are. But in North Carolina, they are requiring 10 years for the audiovisual recording, and the journal entry. And then for the supporting documents, such as the credential analysis files and identity proof and communication technology records, those are to be retained for 5 years. Remember that compliance is the bedrock of your notary work, so stay compliant as well with what part of it that you can record in the journal and logbook, because again, it's kind of a mute point here, but it is a backup. It is a backup. So how do you secure your first 10 clients? The thing about getting clients is about relationship building, and you want to spend some time researching like start local, and then you can expand, because nothing is fixed in stone. The terrain is broad and open, and you can also reach individuals that are not within your state, because with renting in place, you're able to do the online portion for others that are outside of the state. The key is to remember that you need to be physically present in your state when you're taking it, because we went over all of this last week. So your presence, you can be here, but you can take care of attorneys, whatever business opportunities that you have online through the REN platform. So we're talking about securing your 10 clients. So let's go back to that. You're going to research a few of your local realtors and law firm and try to meet them in person to offer your service. This can be done through Google networking or AI searches, and then you're going to make sure you secure an appointment to pitch your service, whether it's an online appointment but the traditional way I think, would be the best way. You meet it in person, so you are building that kind of trust and connection, that they have a face to connect with who they're working with, that sort of thing. So I'm very old school, and so I would suggest the in-person meeting. For the Far and Near Journal, also I do offer a vetted list of clients, title companies that you can sign up with, and it would push you one step further in terms of some of the ones that I've worked with. They're really highly recommended, because there are a couple of them that I think it's just good to work with them because of the smoothness with which they allow you to be paid and that sort of. There's one particular one that comes to mind, but if you do want to access that information, please feel free to check my website, and you can access the journal and logbook where you can get that information. So when we're talking about scaling to 20 clients, one of the lessons in my journey, it has been the importance of social proof, right? This involves understanding how to serve clients with integrity and gaining reviews and referrals from those interactions. This is where general notary work becomes a vital option. So as you master building relationships through the realtor or attorney relationships, referrals would naturally flow from that. The key is relationship building, and then the notary journal and logbook also offers a viable option to gain paid leads. That will be another option that's in the list of clients and the list of options in terms of leads That's also included in the logbook. The scaling equates to, again, this may sound a little redundant, but it equates to relationship building, and this takes time. So you're going to set your standards, show up as a professional to attract the quality clients that you want, and then evaluate your CRM to see what converts and then repeat the process, right? Remember, growth is not accidental, it is managed. Keep a concrete history of your client base growth in the journal logbook. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this has been a pet peeve of mine, and I hope I'm saying it without offending anyone, but the gig-based mindset, it became that, or at least that was when I started noticing it in 2019 in Charlotte. It became a thing, you know. So um, it began to trickle into the notary industry. My desire is to remind everyone that it's not a gig industry, right? In fact, it's a role that is to be deemed with deep respect. Shifting to a business owner mindset is important. A notary public is a public servant, not a gig worker. And I know, everybody has you have your own personality, so you're going to make your own spin on things. But I think just for professionalism, and because when you approach it with a proper mindset, it sells your business better, and it elevates just the perception that others will have of the industry. I know it is, there's more to the industry than I have been exposed to. I've always said that my background is, I've only known the loan signing piece of it. I'm learning other parts of it, but I do think that when you approach it from a professional standpoint, because there's so many people who present present it in with that mindset, but there are those who take on this gig mentality, and it really does pull the industry in a space that it should be in. And so let's move along. The Farr method is a tool that is incorporated in the notary journal and logbook. It is designed to help you focus on communication and to document management offline when needed. It's your paper CRM. A difficulty you may encounter, so I'm going to go through just two examples that kind of bring some important information. One of the difficulty that you may encounter is handling a loan signing as a notary signing agent. You need to have the understanding of the psychology of the client. For example, you may encounter a reader, right? A reader is someone who, though they may have received the loan disclosure, they still prefer to pore over the entire document before signing it. You'll need to space your signings to allow clients to have enough time to review and to give adequate time to get to the next appointment without affecting the interaction that you have in front of you. So whatever the case, you're going to take responsibility by communicating and setting appropriate expectations. Sometimes this means that you will need to say, I do have an appointment, because I remember there was one particular experience I had, like back to back to back signings, and I had a reader, and I was surprised because I think he explained that he was an attorney, but I think that was the point. He wanted to be very careful with the documentation before him, and I could not for the life of me, impress on him that, I need to finish the other one before 12 o'clock because it really took me way into the night to complete the signing. And I had to make a call to make sure that the other client was aware of what was going on. And so, these are things that do occur. And I just wanted to make sure that you understand that you need to be prepared for all of these eventualities, because that was a tough one to handle. But I think you have to deal with what is in front of you before, moving on to the next one. So having that understanding that difficulties can occur and be prepared for everything, right? Remember that every interaction, you're representing not only your personal brand, but you're also representing the title company that assigned you the file. And this mindset will guide your internal responses. I do want to mention one additional difficulty that I encounter. Sometimes you do get loan documents, and this is specifically for those of you who handle loan documents. Different lenders have different ways of preparing their documentation. One particular incident that I had was where the lender, that they had a verbiage, they had a specific lender clause that required the lender to sign on that document. So it was in the closing packet. And I saw it and I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to sign, because it has that like a jurat clause. And I'm like, am I not supposed to sign this? I was going back and forth, and I'm like, okay, I remember seeing something like this while I was at the bank, but it would always come back on sign, and then we had to take it to our manager to sign the document in his presence. He would have to sign it in our presence. So that was the only reason why when I saw it recently, I'm like, okay, this is so similar. And I was able to call the title company. So here is where I recommend, if you're new and if loan signing is not your niche, this is why reviewing the documents, reviewing and seeing, okay, where am I supposed to notarize? It gives you a clear perspective of what may be a nuanced document. Something like that is possible. So you want to review what you are to sign each time you get a loan package, right? And I think that I need to just kind of speed up the rest of the presentation, but I hope this is helpful for those of you who are listening. Then the Farr method also helps keep focus on the difficulties in terms of, what I try to do is to incorporate some suggestions. I'm building that out a little bit more, but it is going to be part of the notary logbook. So it's not just a journal, it is like office on the go in paper form. And this is why I'm talking so much about it this evening, because it is very beneficial backup. All right, let's move along. This was a session I was hoping to have others on the call today, and they didn't show up. So I was hoping to have some opportunities to go over some questions. If you're listening in on this online after the presentation, please post your questions. I'll take an opportunity to review them and respond as well. And just want to thank you for joining in the session, whether you're joining online afterward. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for your support. Please share and subscribe, like it, and give me your feedback. I would appreciate honest feedback. It helps me to assess my own development and just move on, build from there. Right? Thank you for your time and have a wonderful evening.